The most valuable resource available during your pilot trip is not any website, guidebook, or professional consultant. It is the community of Olim who have already made the journey you are considering, who have navigated the challenges you will face, and who have accumulated hard-won wisdom about what works and what does not. These immigrants know things that no one else can tell you because they have lived the experience from the inside rather than observing it from without. Your task during the pilot trip is to find these people, earn their trust, and ask the questions that will unlock the knowledge they carry. What follows is a guide to the questions you should ask, organized not by topic, but by the depth of relationship required to receive honest answers. The questions you can ask anyone, including strangers you meet casually during your explorations, focus on facts and logistics. Where do you buy groceries? Which bus lines run from this neighborhood to the center? How long does it take to walk to the nearest park? Is there a good pediatrician in this area? What is the name of the school your children attend? These questions feel superficial, but the answers help you build a map of daily life in the neighborhood. Pay attention not just to the content of the answers, but to the manner in which they are delivered. Does this person seem happy when talking about their neighborhood? Or do they hesitate and qualify their responses? Do they volunteer additional information enthusiastically? Or do they answer minimally and try to end the conversation? The emotional tone of these casual exchanges often reveals more than the factual content. The questions you can ask acquaintances, people to whom you have been introduced through mutual contacts or community organizations, go deeper into the practical realities of immigrant life. What was your first year like? What surprised you most about living here? What do you wish someone had told you before you made Aliyah? How long did it take before you felt settled? What advice would you give someone in my situation? These questions invite reflection and storytelling rather than simple factual answers, and the responses you receive will vary dramatically depending on the person's temperament, their circumstances, and the particulars of their Aliyah experience. Some people will paint a rosy picture, emphasizing the positives and minimizing the challenges. Others will focus on difficulties, perhaps because the difficulties are genuinely dominant in their experience, or perhaps because they want to prepare you for the hard parts. Listen for the balance between these tendencies and probe gently when answers seem incomplete. If someone says their first year was wonderful, ask what made it wonderful and whether there was anything difficult during that time. If someone says it was a struggle, ask what helped them get through and whether things have improved. The questions you can ask people with whom you have developed some relationship, perhaps hosts who have welcomed you for a Shabbat meal, or contacts with whom you have had multiple conversations. Venture into more personal territory. Are you glad you made Aliyah? If you could do it again, would you do anything differently? What do you miss most about your previous country? What aspects of Israeli life still frustrate you? Have your children successfully integrated? And what challenges did they face? How is your Hebrew now compared to when you arrived? And what did you do to improve it? These questions require trust, because honest answers may reveal struggles and regrets that people do not share casually. Approach these conversations with sensitivity, making clear that you are asking not to judge, but to learn. Share your own fears and uncertainties, creating a reciprocal vulnerability that encourages openness. The people who are willing to share their genuine struggles with you are offering a gift that can help you make a better decision, and they deserve your gratitude and discretion. Beyond the questions you ask, pay attention to the questions they ask you. Experienced Olim often have a sense for what matters and will probe to understand your situation before offering advice. When someone asks where you are planning to work, or whether you speak Hebrew, or what your children's ages are, they are gathering information that will allow them to give you more tailored guidance. Engage fully with these questions rather than deflecting or giving minimal answers. The more someone understands about your specific circumstances, the more useful their advice can be. Ask different questions of Olim at different stages of their journey. Someone who arrived 6 months ago can tell you about the immediate challenges of absorption, navigating bureaucracy, finding housing, opening bank accounts, getting children into school. Their experience is fresh and specific. though it may also be colored by the stress of recent transition. Someone who has been in Israel for 5 years can tell you about the medium-term adjustments, building community, developing professional networks, watching children grow into their Israeli identities. Their perspective is more settled, though they may have forgotten some of the acute challenges of the early days. Someone who has been here for 20 years can tell you about the long arc of immigrant life, how their relationship to both Israel and their home country has evolved, what they have gained and lost over the decades, and whether they would make the same choice again with the wisdom of experience. Each time frame offers different insights, and collecting perspectives across the continuum gives you a more complete picture. Seek out Olim from backgrounds similar to yours, but also Olim whose backgrounds differ significantly. Someone from your same city or community may have insights particularly relevant to your situation, but they may also have biases and blind spots that arise from shared assumptions. Talking with Olim from different countries of origin helps you distinguish what is universal about the Aliyah experience from what is specific to particular backgrounds. Talking with Olim who are older or younger than you, in different family situations, or at different points in their careers, helps you understand the range of possible experiences rather than assuming your path will mirror any single individual's journey. Ask about the things that no one talks about publicly. Every community has tensions and challenges that are not mentioned in promotional materials or polite conversation. Ask what the downsides of this neighborhood are. Ask what groups of people seem to struggle here. Ask what happens when things go wrong, whether that means a child who does not integrate well, a job loss, a marriage difficulty, or a crisis of commitment to the Aliyah decision itself. These topics are uncomfortable, and you may need to demonstrate that you can be trusted with honest answers by sharing your own fears and acknowledging your own potential vulnerabilities. But the information you gain from these conversations is often the most valuable of your entire pilot trip, because it helps you understand what happens when circumstances are difficult rather than only when everything goes well. Finally, remember that every Ole's experience is particular to their circumstances, personality, and choices. The fact that someone else struggled does not mean you will struggle, and the fact that someone else thrived does not guarantee your success. Your goal in asking questions is not to find the one person whose experience will predict your own, but to accumulate a diverse set of data points from which patterns may emerge. When multiple people independently tell you the same thing, pay close attention. When one person's experience contradicts everyone else's, investigate further before dismissing either the outlier or the consensus. The truth about life in Israel is complex and multifaceted, and your pilot trip interviews should reveal that complexity rather than reduce it to simple conclusions.